Welcome back to What the Football?
What the football?
The Football.
And there it is.
I am your host, Caleb Gregler, along with.
Your host, Teague Morosky.
And as you can see, the lag has made its return for the second episode in What the Football.
I hate this.
We got week 4 recap for you guys today. Wow, my screen is very shaky. Let's try to.
It is. It feels like I'm in the middle of an earthquake.
We got Teague's lag. We got my earthquake. Beautiful production quality from our standpoint here.
Guys, I want everyone at home, just start giving a nice round of applause to Mountaineer Village.
Woo!
Just come on, give them a nice for how good their Wi-Fi is.
It's just awesome. Their Wi-Fi, their dryers, their AC, just
every top tier.
I am back home in Cary right now because this weekend, hopefully, I don't know if we're going to be doing an episode this weekend, because you'll be in Atlanta. Thanks. I'll be in LA, because I will be seeing the Chargers take on the Browns in SoFi Stadium. Very excited.
My beloved.
I'll probably
Cleveland boys. Whoa, yeah. I like that alliteration.
So apparently there was alliteration. Wasn't able to hear what it was. But
I just got back to it. It was, I said, my beloved Cleveland boys.
Gotcha. Okay.
All it said was your internet connection is unstable. And I was like, okay, so no one heard that.
Shocking. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a bunch of videos and everything. Expect to see some of those on the What the Football TikTok, or if anybody wants to post to our Instagram or Twitter, that'd be awesome.
Maybe our social media manager.
Yeah. So we got that this week.
We are hiring right now, everybody.
Mark doesn't know it yet, but we're hiring.
He's on the hot seat, everybody.
Yeah. Just like Urban Meyer is. And we'll start this episode off with a few.
I don't think he can be on the hot seat.
Urban Meyer?
Bro, he's played 4 games in the NFL and he has a rookie quarterback. And they are getting better, I'll say. They definitely looked like a competition team last week.
You know what looks not.
Oh, well,
not
I guess I kind of forgot about the non-football side of it.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of news points for you today, just 2. We have obviously the whole Urban Meyer scandal. He, after their loss on Sunday, he sent his team home to Jacksonville. He stayed in Ohio, or Thursday. They played Thursday. Sorry.
I was about to say Thursday. Yeah.
In Ohio, he stayed in Ohio, went out to bars, and took pictures with multiple women, none of whom were his wife. Was receiving lap dances or something of the sort from these women in the bars. Not a good look. Urban Meyer. It's just not great so far from you. With very, very questionable decision making. From there, and I mean, I know he apologized to his team, to his wife. That's all good and well. The last thing means it's
okay. That means it's all okay though. You didn't know that?
He apologized. That means everything's fine. The last thing that the Jaguars need right now is a distraction. On their they don't need their coach, the one that's supposed to lead them, and to get their first win, to get his first win, to get Trevor Lawrence's first win, to get the Jaguars' first win of the season, to get the Jaguars' first win since week 1 of 2020. So you can't become a distraction for your team. You can't do it. I mean, it's inexcusable, I think, by Urban Meyer's part. First of all, I mean, you're married. Don't do that. Second of all, I'm trying to find, there was a tweet of all the stuff that he did. I can't find the tweet. I thought it was this guy. Anyway, but you just can't do that. Urban Meyer, you come on. Literally, the Shad Khan, the Jaguars owner, literally, he made a statement today. It was like, we discussed it, and he needs to earn our trust and respect back. So, I mean, the Jaguars organization is trying everything they can to trust this dude, and he's throwing it all away right now. I mean, it's not a good look at all, and we'll see what happens with the fallout of all this. But that's all really there is to say about that. We'll move on to a little bit of a little bit more happy news for one of us at least.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
So the Patriots today, when I woke up, checked on Twitter, just your daily your morning Twitter scroll through, and
we all have it. We all do it.
Oh yeah. And the Patriots had released Stephon Gilmore, or were planning on releasing Stephon Gilmore today. And then hours go by, and right about 45 minutes ago, an hour ago, sources, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, all your main NFL insiders, before the official release went through, the Panthers traded a 2023 sixth-round draft pick for Stephon Gilmore. The Panthers defense that already looked scary, minus Sunday, it looks even more scary. Stephon Gilmore is a top 5 corner in the league, and he brings another dimension to that Panthers defense.
When you think about our cornerback depth at this point, it's unreal. CJ Henderson, JC Horn, Dante Jackson, AJ Bouye, and now Stephon Gilmore. When everyone's healthy, there won't be an open person on the field. I promise you that.
No.
And then you throw in Jeremy Chin at safety. You throw in Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns on the outside, and then Derek Brown up the middle with Gross Matos backing up the edge. It sounds fake, and it makes me so happy. And I'm really excited for what the season is going to be now.
It will be
with another lockdown
Super Bowl this year. I'm just saying.
I'm saying within the next 2 years that we will see it. Yeah. Caleb's munching on some Wendy's, if you can see.
I'm so hungry. So, anyway, that being said, both those news points out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get right into the Week 4 recap. And we'll start off with that Thursday night game, that Jags at Bengals. It took a last-second field goal by the Bengals, and the Bengals are now 3-1. They beat the Jags 24-21 in prime time. And
Trevor Lawrence looked solid.
He did.
I mean, no touchdowns, no picks, though, and he had a rushing touchdown. But 17-24 for 204 yards with some really nice throws thrown in there. It was if you're a Jags fan, which I'm sorry, but if you are a Jags fan, Trevor Lawrence is going to be that guy. Don't be scared. Okay, we're 4 games in. He's getting better, and he's going to figure it out eventually. And by the end of the season, he'll be a really good quarterback in this league.
I think so.
But Burrow looks awesome.
I was just going to say, even if Trevor Lawrence doesn't look good by the end of the season, year 2, do not lose hope. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year.
Yeah, don't freak out, you uns.
Man is the second best quarterback of all time. It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and get my laptop charger. So I don't really want to talk about that Thursday night game anymore because it's just ugly. We'll talk about Zach Wilson getting his first win, 27-24 against the Jets. And Teague, I'll let you take this away while I go.
Well, this is a really dangerous game that Caleb is playing, as we know how my connection is.
We'll see how much gets through to this.
All right, so I'll just kind of go off and Caleb hustle. So Zach Wilson had his first game where you saw why he was the number 2 pick. I mean, the man, I know he threw a pick, but if you watch that game, you saw him make some incredible, unreal throws. And that was always one of the major positives of drafting him, is you're going to get those off the cuff, improvisational plays,
off schedule,
where he's off his back foot, he's on the run, and he's throwing across his body, the kind of throws that Mahomes makes. He showed flashes of that in college. And you hadn't seen much of that this year. There were a couple throws against the Panthers that were pretty good, but you haven't seen it. This was his coming out party. Almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, a good completion percentage, and just eye test will tell you he looked awesome. Michael Carter got his first career rushing touchdown in this game as well. But I think the biggest story is Zach Wilson looking like a good quarterback for this game for the first time this season. But an almost equally as big story, what is going on with the Titans? I know you're missing Julio and AJ.
It doesn't matter.
If your whole team revolves around 2 receivers, you're already not a good team.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry cannot do everything. And to quote Nick Wright, maybe if he was able to play middle linebacker, he could have gotten a few stops that would have helped them. But like, he can't do everything. Tannehill still has not played great this season. And it's like, I released him from my fantasy team. Like, what is going on with this man? The receiving core is extremely, extremely weak. It's not deep at all without Julio and AJ. Their best player is Josh Reynolds. Their running back had the most catches on the team this week. It was just really it was a really bad game for the Titans. Very disappointing. Luckily, they're in the worst division in football, which
and
I'm
they're
going to
still
confidently
winning.
say that now.
They're in first place.
The AFC South has taken over the NFC East. I'm going to go ahead and say that. At least half of this show is no longer an NFC East hate podcast.
I'm down to hop on
AFC. I'm on the AFC South hate podcast train.
I am too.
They are really not great. The Titans being the best team in that division says a lot. Colts are awful. We'll get to them. And then, of course, you have the guys and the Texans, who are just bottom barrel of the NFL. So overall, congrats, Zach Wilson. You looked really good, man. Everyone saw why you were the number 2 now. Titans, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Titans need to figure something out quick, or their 4th seed home playoff game will be looking like what the Bills have been doing to their opponents so far.
Yeah.
We'll move on here to another 1:00 game. We got the Chiefs and the Eagles, and the Eagles look competitive for a bit. It's only a 12-point win here for the Chiefs.
Chiefs were up though, like by 2 possessions throughout. Like the Eagles scored on the last possession of the game.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was back and forth or anything.
No.
But I will say the Chiefs defense is terrible. It's awful right now. And it's like they're not going to be able to win games. Like they're not going to be as good as they could be if their defense keeps playing this way. Obviously they're still arguably the best team, like not the best team in the NFL right now, power ranking wise, but like overall, if you're just looking at the team, they're still the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Like they're still a great team, but it's literally only to their offense. Their defense is atrociously bad, and they need to fix that if they want to have a shot at going back to the Super Bowl.
And I forget who, I think it was someone on Good Morning Football that put it this way. The Chiefs need to figure out their defense because like their offense is excellent, but it's not like it's getting better. It's excellent. It's the top of the league, but it's not going anywhere. Their defense is consistently getting worse and worse.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is Patrick Mahomes, 24 of 30, 278, 5 touchdowns and a pick. Like he had an incredible game. Tyreek Hill had 11 catches for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. That's what sucks about guarding the Chiefs is like you can either commit, we're shutting down Kelsey, he's not going to do anything, and then Tyreek can kill you, or you can be like, we're shutting down Tyreek, he's not going to do anything, and then Kelsey will kill you. And if you go through every game on the Chiefs schedule this season, teams have tried to both, and the other will just go off. So the fact that they're off,
unless you put the Chargers in,
can we talk about fair or Can we talk about Jalen Hurts?
He looks really good.
He looks like he had the one little bit of a stinker against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But putting for like fantasy perspective, he hasn't scored less 20 points all year.
Yeah. I mean,
which is like really good.
And I did not get a chance to watch a lot of these 1:00 games. I was at work. So I caught little glimpses of them as I was just serving. So I didn't see a lot of this Chiefs Eagles game other than highlights or whatever. But all I can say is that the Chiefs defense looks atrocious. But I mean, the Eagles defense is also not good this year. And I mean, this 72 points combined in this game is ridiculous. but kind of expected based off of how these two defenses play, and that's not well. Anyway, the Chiefs go to forgot to do this with the other four teams.
I don't get why people are still sleeping on Jalen. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
You're
gonna go ahead and say I don't see why people are still sleeping on Jalen Hurts so hard.
Thank you. Okay. It was
it's so funny because you are so clear on my screen.
Yeah.
But like I said it so confidently and just heard no response, and you kept talking about something else. I was like, yeah, I was kidding about that.
Like you are literally your video is in 144p right now. I hate to break it to you.
It's because I can't connect to my hotspot, and I want someone to comment down below why that is.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to connect to your hotspot because you're not connected to Wi-Fi on your phone, so that's fine. Pretty much every other reason. I mean, you put in the password for your hotspot, that should be fine.
And I've already to do it, so it's
exactly.
not like it's a new thing.
Anyway, the Chiefs go to 2-2. They are the 9 seed now in the AFC. The Eagles fall to 1-3. They are the 13 seed in the NFC. Let me fix my
Eagles can compete with a lot of teams, though.
I think so.
We'll go ahead and say Jalen Hurts. I still don't get all the criticism. He's playing very well, and I think he can be a franchise quarterback in this league.
I think so too. I think he's definitely showing the potential, and I mean, he's putting.
I think he's dynamic enough to do it and make some throws that you see that he's special.
Don't know where this ad is coming from, but this episode of What the Football is brought to you by USAA.
I wish they were sliding us some.
Is it over?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Okay. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, Cowboys Panthers here. The Cowboys beat the Panthers by 8. Although from the little that I saw, the Panthers scored pretty late in that game.
Well, the only thing is, I mean, here's the thing: we were winning at half.
Yeah.
Third quarter, we got shit out 20-0, and that's the game.
Yeah,
that's the whole game. Out in the fourth quarter, we win 14-3. Doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we didn't score on the last possession of the game. The Cowboys did get the ball back, and so if our defensive made us up, we had a chance there. But I mean, I'm not delusional. The Cowboys took their foot off the brake at the end of the game.
Sure.
Similar to the Niners Lions, but just because that happens doesn't mean, we didn't have a chance to win. I didn't come away from this game mad, I'll say.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are a good team. I figured we'd lose, honestly. I mean, we were underdogs in the game. And the fact that we were within one possession of them by the end of this game is a positive thing. We were missing our best player. We're missing our CB1 or 2, depending on how you look at it. And our best player by a mile, like CMC, like to be missing your team's heart and soul and to only lose by 8 to a really good Cowboys team, I'm not mad about it. I think DJ Moore is an absolute superstar, just being shown game by game I mean, Sam Darnold targets him the most out of anyone because DJ Moore is one of the better receivers in this league, and it's like really exciting to see.
Definitely. The biggest thing I took away from this game is the Panthers defense didn't look like how it was looking.
Not at all.
I mean, when you allow, what is this, 45 yards rushing?
And we had no sacks.
No sacks, no picks. Not a good day from the Panthers defense. The Panthers offense tried their best, and their defense let them down.
Sam Darnold, I got really scared, I'm not gonna lie, because he threw picks on back-to-back possessions.
He did. He threw 2 picks.
Don't tell me, because these are his first 2 picks of the season.
Yeah.
Don't tell me this man's back to his ways.
2 touchdowns.
But he
2
also
picks.
has 5 rushing touchdowns on the year through 4 games, which is the most ever by a quarterback. So he's literally becoming Cameron.
He is. I mean, he's already better than Cam Newton. So,
I mean, he had 4 touchdowns in this game. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, he's been balling out for the Panthers. Definitely way better than he was on the Jets, and I mean, just better scenario, better coaching staff, better everything. Panthers fans don't worry. I mean,
Cowboys fans.
The Cowboys fans are a good.
You guys
Cowboys
are
a good team.
Cowboys are really honestly, like, I didn't know before this game, but just like watching them, they're often they have been, I think, the most consistent team this year.
I think so too.
Like, I mean, they obviously have a loss, but that was a close loss to the best team on opening night football.
Off a field goal with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, like to the previous Super Bowl winners. Like, they've looked really good week to week.
This
and
team,
dude, I was watching Skip and Shannon, and I wanted to. I usually like Shannon. Wanted to fight him. He was disrespecting the Panthers so hard. He put us in the same tier. Who else did the Cowboys play? Did the Cowboys play the Jets?
No, the Cowboys have played the Eagles, the Chargers, and the Buccaneers.
He put us in the same category as the Eagles, which I don't even think the Eagles are that bad. But he was like, I mean, yeah, you guys have 3 wins, but you played the Panthers, and I was like, bro, we're not that bad, and we literally only lost by 8. Like, oh wow. Anyways, Panthers are a solid team. Cowboys are a really good team.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they have a shot to win the NFC here with based off how they played in the first quarter of the season.
I wouldn't be shocked at all at this point.
There you go.
We were off.
The Panthers are now the 6th seed.
Still in the playoffs.
In the NFC, still in the playoffs. The Cowboys are the 2 seed here. Both teams at 3-1. We'll move on to the Giants at Saints. And the Saints in their first true home game of the season, because they were played in Jacksonville because
played like poop.
The Hurricane. They did not play well. The Giants, Saquon, welcome back to the NFL, buddy.
It makes me so happy when he's doing well.
He had his breakout game since his injury this week. 54-yard touchdown capped that off. And they won in overtime. Not a whole lot to say about this game, really. I mean, Daniel
Giants
Jones
get their first win of the year.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, 40 passes, 402 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a pick in there. Wouldn't be really a Daniel Jones game without a turnover. But I mean,
looked really good.
Yeah. Saquon with 4 yards of carry and a touchdown. And then, of course, you had 5 rushes for 74 yards and a touchdown. Kadarius Toney did pretty good. John Ross, 77 yards and a touchdown.
Kenny Galladay
with over 100 yards receiving.
James Bradbury with a pick. Gotta respect my boy.
Alvin Kamara just did what he usually does. I mean,
that was the fun fact. If you didn't know, 26 carries. That's the most in Alvin Kamara's career in a game.
I don't doubt that.
He's only hit over 20. I think the stat was 4 times in his whole career.
Yeah.
And this was the most. I mean, and he 120 yards. It's amazing.
I truly don't doubt that. Only because, I mean, here's the thing. You had 26 carries. I mean, it's 4.6 yards a carry. I mean, that's pretty good. You want to be that 4 yards a carry is pretty much your benchmark to see if you're doing good. Yeah. He did well. Just the Saints just didn't pull this one out.
Here's the issue. You want to know what the issue is? This is the first game in his career he hasn't been targeted a single time. Alvin Kamara is great because of his pass catching ability. Yep. He's obviously a great runner, but he's great and a superstar because of his ability to catch out of the backfield. And you don't target him. Jameis Winston, I know you want to play hero ball and just launch the ball down the field. This wasn't it, man. You got to find your boy Alvin in the flats. Like, that's when you're going to do those damage, and you're not going to lose to a Giants team.
And Jameis loves him and Drew Brees are complete opposites. Jameis loves throwing that ball down the field, taking those deep shots. Drew is a dink and dunk kind of guy. And a lot of that was helped out Alvin Kamara because checkdowns, just dumping it off.
Yeah.
And helped Alvin Kamara become one of the league's best receiving running backs. And he still is.
That's why they won so many games.
Exactly. I mean, probably the best regular season team from the past 5 years, I would say.
All you think of is 13-3. That's the thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, because they go 13-3 so often.
They're 2-2 right now. And I guess honestly, that's usually where they are at this point of the season.
They are. That's what's so weird.
But they always end up 13-3. I don't see it with this Saints team. I really don't see it.
No, I don't either. Giants get their first one of the season, move to 1-3. However, they are, if my thing would load here, the 15 seed in the NFC. And the Saints move to 2-2 or fall to 2-2, excuse me, are the 11 seed right now in the NFC. Browns Vikings didn't catch this game.
You didn't miss much. I'll go ahead and say this is probably Baker's worst game in the last 2 years.
He couldn't have saved that for next week.
I mean, under 50% completion, 155 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And he missed. Big thing was he missed a chance to ice the game. Obviously, they ended up winning, but he missed a big throw to Odell. It was like wide open, would have been a touchdown, and he just missed him. And that's what it comes down to. I've said it so many times. Baker and Odell's chemistry is just not. And this team is a different when Jarvis is playing. This team is a different team. It's not a great team. But I will say the Vikings are a great 1-3. They're a great.
They're the best. They're the best 1-3 team in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like they're a great team, but they're a great 1-3 team.
I would say that they're probably the best team under 500 right now.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a core of Dalvin, JJ, and
Kirk Cousins has been playing well.
What?
Kirk Cousins has been playing well too.
Yeah, this was kind of a weak game from him. 20 of 38, barely above 50%, 200 yards and a touchdown and a pick.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook just did nothing. But this Browns defense was the story of the game. Dude, they're looking good right now, man.
Yeah, I'm scared to facing this upcoming week, honestly.
The only thing is that's going to be probably that's not the game of the week because Bills Chiefs is. Yeah. That's the second game of the week.
Chargers Browns 2 3-1 teams going at it for
two
prime AFC
what I think are going to be playoff teams.
I mean I would hope so. Both the Browns and the Chargers off to a strong start. Both their only losses coming within one possession of the other team. The Browns losing to the Chiefs by one possession, and then the
Chargers losing to the Cowboys, who are a good team.
Yeah, exactly. Both played pretty fantastic.
It's not like anyone's had an offhanded loss.
They've been competitive in every game they played and won 75% of them so far, both teams. I think the biggest story of this game, the rushing attack for the Browns, besides the defense, obviously.
It's obviously not even a story at this point. They're just the best running team in the league.
Yeah, they are. Not much to say about that game just because nothing really happened. The Browns moved to 3-1. They are out of the playoffs technically right now at the 8th seed. And the Vikings are non-existent. There they are. 1-3, the 12th seed in the NFC here. The best 1-3 team technically in the NFC and in the standings. And I think it shows on the score or just on the field as well.
On the eye test, yeah.
Lions Bears here. I picked the Lions to win this game. And
I think I do.
We'll go over the predictions here after we talk about the games where both me and Teague stand. He doesn't know where he stands right now compared to everybody else.
I don't.
Because
I promise you, Caleb cheated.
I didn't actually.
Caleb probably cheated.
So there's this narrative that I cheated because I've won 2 out of the 3 years that we've done this and then placed second in the 3rd year. So sorry that I'm just good. I hate to say it. But Lions Bears, just a gross game before you even think about what happened. Justin Fields.
Couple things.
Go ahead.
I didn't have anything, to be honest. I was just going to kind of spitball, but you got something. Go with it.
Okay. No, I was just going to say Justin Fields was just named the starter today going forward.
Yeah, I saw that.
From Matt Nagy. 11 for 17, 209, and no touchdowns. And a pick. Not promising. That offensive line sucks.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even say not like 11 for 17 is pretty good. He only threw the ball 17 times.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a whatever game. It wasn't like crazy. It was just like it's his first time really starting, knowing that he's starting, like it was whatever.
Darnell
Mooney.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, wow.
5 for 125, balled out. They got the win.
David Montgomery looked great. I mean, he was their offense, essentially.
Yes. Over 100 yards rushing. He is hurt. But the Bears do believe it was a knee injury. They believe he avoided the ACL tear. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Also, Damian Williams has looked like a bucket. I mean, he had averaged 7 yards a carry and a touchdown.
I mean, he was a good piece in the Chiefs Super Bowl win when he was on the Chiefs against the Niners.
Yeah. Let's talk about this line team and how they make me. Jared Goff looked honestly good, like 24-38, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. What is with this DeAndre Swift? No usage. He's good. He's their him and TJ are their best players.
Mm-hmm.
And while DeAndre is a great receiving back, he's a good running back, but they only give him 8 carries. He's rhythm. It's like, and he's getting taken out every other play. And it's like, dude, I get Jamal Williams is like doing okay,
Sure.
but DeAndre Swift is your future. Like he's young and a running back. Like, oh, it's infuriating. As a fantasy owner and as a fan of the team, I can't imagine.
What I think is the most glaring problem for this Lions team. I mean, your defense sucks. I just honestly, but the receiving core is horrible. Quintez Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond had 2 touchdowns. Kaderil Hodge, Trinity Benson, all caught passes.
I'm not gonna lie, Jared Goff hasn't looked bad this year. Like
he hasn't looked bad, but he hasn't done anything that's like, oh wow, yeah. I mean,
because he doesn't have the help.
No, he doesn't.
His coaching staff is trying to sell him by taking out 2 plays. Oh, it's infuriating to watch. Oh wow, and they're never running because they're always losing. So
Correct.
It's just not a good combo. I think DeAndre Swift is gonna do better because I mean he's still kind of injured. So they're kind of like taking their time with him, which I understand. But like the annoying part is that they said, hey, he has a higher workload coming for this week. Like they said that. Yeah. And then he matches his lowest. He gets out carried by double by Jamal. Yeah. And then like, granted, he had 4 catches, but it's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. The Bears moved to 2-2 here. They're the 8th seed right now. In the NFC.
That one, I'll tell you right now, that won't last.
Detroit is 0-4. They are the only no-win team in the NFC left, and one of 2 in the NFL. So they are the 16th seed here. There's not really much to say about this next game. The Bills blow out the Texans 40-0. The Texans are absolutely terrible. The Bills, probably the best team in the AFC right now.
Davis Mills or picks 87 yards.
Yeah. It's just, I mean,
dude,
the Texans are a dumpster fire.
Still has no, I don't get it, dude. Like Josh Allen, I won't lie, had that insane game against the Redskins or the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like he's not doing anything.
No, he is not. I mean, he hasn't looked like the second best quarter or the third best quarterback in the league like he did last year
at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just last year he was the 3rd best quarterback in the league. He's not really looking that dominant this year. It's weird to see, but I mean, the Bills are winning games. So I mean, realistically, they don't need him to be a superstar. That defense is good. They have a decent supporting cast around Josh Allen with Stephon Emmanuel Sanders. Dawson Knox has looked good so far this year. Devin Single, Zach Moss is a pretty okay 1-2 punch there in the backfield. Not superstar worthy. Not superstar worthy, but doable. I would classify that backfield as doable. And I know
it's like the Chiefs, like when they went to the Super Bowl their first year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anyway, not much to get away from or to take.
I don't know if it came through, but I said the Bills are the best defense in the league.
It didn't come through. I can promise you that.
So what's the story of this team is what I said is that their defense has been the best in the league thus far.
I mean, it has 2 shutouts, and it's week 4.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
it's like the last 2 out of 3 weeks. You shut it. Do you know how hard it is to stop an NFL roster from scoring a single point in a game?
Yeah.
Like, wow. It's a very impressive stat. So
anyway. Stephon not looking like a superstar receiver so far. Don't expect that to hold true. He's gotten 41 targets over the past 4 weeks. Only expect that to either stay the same or go up. He'll get the yards, he'll get the touchdowns. Be patient, fantasy owners. I'm telling myself that.
Talking to yourself. Speaking it into existence.
Bills moved to 3-1. They are currently, I believe they are the number 3 seed here in the AFC, and the Texans are the 11 seed that will only continue to drop as the season goes on. Colts and Dolphins. Colts got their first win of the season. The Dolphins don't look good without Tua. I mean, they don't really look great with him, but they look even worse without him.
Their running game is awful.
So bad. I mean, you can't expect to win games when you play like they did. I don't care if they put up 17 points. Yeah. You're not going to win a lot of games like this. The Colts aren't a good team, but
no, Jonathan Taylor showed up finally for the first time this season.
About time.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say. He finally did something in a game and helped his team win. Shocked that translated to their first win of the season when Jonathan Taylor did well. I don't think it's a secret that Jonathan Taylor is one of their
into that a little bit more.
Say it again.
I just said they need to lean into that a little bit more.
Absolutely. I think so.
Get him going. You're not winning with just Wentz. I'll tell you that right now.
No, absolutely not. Jacoby Brissett. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, hell no.
Until they get to I don't expect them to win a single game, if I'm going to be completely honest, unless they play.
I don't know the schedule well enough to confidently say that, but I'll agree for the most part.
They have Tampa Bay this week, if that means anything to you.
So they're okay. Well, they'll at least win one
then. Not much to say about this game again. I mean, I feel like the Colts are playing in a lot of forgetful games this season.
They are.
I think
they're also forgetting that they're playing football when they play in these games.
A lot of the times they are. The Indianapolis Colts move to 1-3, get their first win of the season, overtake Miami Dolphins. They have the 12 and the 13 seed respectively. Colts at 12, Miami at 13. We'll move here to the last of the 1:00 games, I believe. I think. Yeah. Washington barely edges out the Falcons. This was a shootout. 34-30. Washington beats Atlanta. J.D. McKissic, what an effort at the end of that game to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor Heineke looked pretty decent. 23 for 33, 293.
He looked awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And he was making fantastic throws.
Yeah.
And he added 40 rushing yards. Like, he was looking like he's a Carolina Panther. So,
sure, if you could say that. And I mean, Cordero Patterson, story of the
he killed it on my bench, man.
And now he's on my running back 2 spot. Let's go.
You're welcome.
I was in desperate need for running back. Starting out the season, my running back 2 was Travis Etienne. 2 days after I drafted him, out for the season. Bye-bye. So week 1, I had Tyson Williams. Week 2, I had Tyson Williams. Let's see. Week 3, I had Tyson Williams. Week 4, yep.
His only good game was, of course, against
me.
That's not shocking.
I was at work. Didn't see that he was a healthy scratch until after I got off, which was like 4:15. And I check, I'm like, oh, Tyson Williams doesn't have any points yet. And I go to my roster and it has the O next to his name. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Still put up 127.5 points and won my matchup this week. Let's go. I'm 3-1.
Hey, that's second. That's second most this week.
Who scored the most?
Shock. Guys, you want to know something crazy? First of all, Tyson Williams' only good game against me week 1. The reason that you beat me, that's not shocking. Yeah. Guys, I've scored the most points in a 12-man league. I have the most points for, and I am 1-3. It is unreal, and I'm so mad that this exists.
Did you know in our keeper league?
But yeah, Cordero Patterson. What?
I was gonna say in our keeper league, Micah's 4-0. He's either second or third worst in points for.
Of course he is. But guys, you know what's amazing is that Cordero Patterson, I put up 138.5 with his 32.5 points on my bench. So what does that tell you?
I mean, I put up 127.5 without a player. I had 8 players. So
may as well not have had a point with DeAndre Swift's usage rate.
Fair enough. Falcons, I mean, your team's not good. I hate to break it to you. You guys fall to 1-3 on the season, are currently the 14th seed in the NFC. Washington, you moved to 2-2. Congrats. You're in the playoffs if the season ended today. You're the 7th seed. We're only one game behind of Dallas. This week, Washington has the Saints, a very winnable game. The Falcons have the Jets, another winnable game for them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That means Zach Wilson might get his second win. That'd be exciting.
True. Seahawks and Niners here. This is a good NFC West matchup. We'll get 2 of those again this week. As the Rams will take on the Seahawks on Thursday night tomorrow. And then the Niners will play the Cardinals, try to knock them off. But the story of this game here, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Trey
out. Trey Lance in.
Mm-hmm. Trey Lance didn't look, 50% completion.
Great.
I would argue that.
He missed a lot of easy throws.
Sure. But he had 160 yards and 2 touchdowns on 9 completions.
So, yeah, one of those
incredible.
Because Deebo Samuel is a literal person. There was no one within 15 yards of him, and he just used his speed to take off. I mean, that was like a 76-yard touchdown. I mean, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Trey Lance. I think he has a really good future. I just don't think he's ready to start right now. I saw him. This was one of the games
he was thrown in mid-game.
Correct.
With no preparation that he was going to be a starter. And he came in, threw 2 touchdowns, had 160 yards.
Sure.
Like I wouldn't say, I'm not saying he's outstanding, of course, but I think he's better than most have been.
And like my thing is, it doesn't matter how much or how little preparation you get. A slant route is a slant route, no matter what. If you overthrow or underthrow or throw behind on a slant route consistently, it doesn't matter how little preparation you get. If you are an NFL quarterback, you better know how to freaking throw a slant route consistently well. That's my thing. I mean, they won, or they did.
I think it was how to.
He showed flashes of what he can be in the future. Just a lot of mistakes early in his career, as any rookie quarterback is going to have. I mean, I don't think it's Trey Lance's time
picks,
now.
Though.
Huh?
I just said no picks though.
No, a couple should have been. I will say that there was a couple shocking throws. Again, Trey Lance is gonna, I think, have a really good future in the NFL. I don't think he's ready yet. Jimmy G might be back on Sunday. We don't know. He's going to be a game time decision, I believe. If not, Trey Lance will have a mighty tall task ahead of him with the 4-0 Cardinals. But
I forget who said it, but someone made a really good point about how this kind of, you never want to wish injury on someone, but this is kind of the perfect scenario for the Niners. Like, you don't have to ruin Jimmy G's confidence by benching him, and you have to throw Trey to try and make up for any thing. Like, you're putting Trey Lance strictly because of an injury. If he kills it and goes off, you can leave him in. But if he doesn't, you put Jimmy G back in. It doesn't kill Trey's confidence. He's like, oh, I was only here because Jimmy was injured. Yep. It's kind of the perfect scenario to test the waters with your rookie quarterback.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it last year with Justin Herbert. I mean, he was only put in because of injury. Anthony Lynn said that he's not ready to be an NFL starting quarterback yet. I'm not even gonna react to that. I'm just gonna let that speak for itself. Deebo Samuel, apparently he's the new best wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, he is.
Him and Cooper Kupp are 1 and 2 now, instead of Devontae and DeAndre. So congrats on being weird, NFL 2021. Seahawks get the win. Both teams move to 2-2. The Seahawks are not the 9 seed. Niners are the 10 seed. We'll move to a game that I was not expecting to go how it did. The Cardinals beat the Rams at home
badly
by 3 possessions. And Kyler looks like an MVP.
He's the MVP. He is the MVP right now.
As of right now,
I'll say that with no doubt in my mind.
Kyler Murray is the
MVP right now.
I would agree with that.
There's no doubt in my mind. Rams, I don't know,
Stafford didn't look good.
I mean, they didn't look off. Yeah, it was just like a weird game, to be honest. Like they just didn't really play well.
Yeah, Stafford had his first not that good game as a Ram. It's going to happen as a quarterback. You're going to have bad games. Doesn't matter if you're Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady. There's not another quarterback that I could go higher. You're going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
This is it. And he might have a couple more this season. The Rams are a really good team. The Cardinals are a really good team. Rams fans, don't panic.
And I don't think they are, to be like, I think the Rams know they're good.
Sure.
The Cardinals are just better than, like, and it's like everyone who's like a talk show host, like all these people, it's okay to admit you missed on something. None of us thought the Cardinals were going to be this good, and they clearly are. Their defense has been the sort, like their offense we knew was going to be explosive.
Sure.
Their defense has been dominant. And it's like, it's okay to admit, hey, we were wrong on this one. And I think we both had them going to the playoffs, but like, I thought they were the fourth best team in the division. You know,
I did too. Going into the season, I also did.
I mean, granted, it's the best division in football. We had all four teams making the playoffs, but like,
correct.
The Cardinals are a real threat to go to the Super Bowl, and I think we all need to recognize that.
I think so too. They are the only undefeated team left in the NFL. That speaks volumes. That being said, Cardinals move to 4-0. Rams fall to 3-1. Both teams are playoff teams. The Rams are the best wild card team right now. A matchup of two NFC powerhouses, fun to watch. We'll see that game one more time this year. Packers Steelers, 10-point game. The scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story.
What are you doing, man? Why is he still in the league?
I don't know. He's not a good quarterback anymore. I want him to go so that he doesn't break any of Rivers' records, honestly, because he's close. He's close on yards and touchdowns.
What's so sad, I think, is like, for example, Manning went out with a Super Bowl. Granted, he was like kind of a shell of himself, but he went out, with a Super Bowl. He went out on top.
Yeah, with a really good defense
Brady,
backing him up.
Yeah, Tom Brady doesn't really need to quit anytime soon.
He'll play till he's 80.
But like, if he wins the Super Bowl this year and quits, that'd be a good thing for him. I don't think he would quit even if he won a Super Bowl. But like, he still looks dominant. He goes out on top. Big Ben should have quit 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
When he still looked like a capable quarterback. Now it's just getting sad, and he's gonna quit. We're all gonna be like, yeah, like you played hard till the end. Like you did not look good.
All of our visions of him and who he was when he was at his best.
Yeah, and granted, we're not dumb enough to think, oh, now he's not a good quarterback all time. He's still he was a great quarterback in this league.
Yeah,
he's not a great quarterback anymore.
No,
especially when you just compare. I mean, Rodgers is 2 years younger than Big Ben. They don't even look like they're in the same generation. Like
Brady's Rodgers, like 5 years older than him.
Yeah, and it's just like Big Ben, you didn't age great. You didn't go, like, you didn't try your hardest, honestly. Like, you never worked out in the offseason like you should have. You didn't do all these things, and now it's showing. Like,
but he's on a new diet. He's on a new diet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can go off raw talent for a while, obviously. But then Brady, the reason he's so great and has such longevity is because he has the diet and diligence and workout,
prepares so much.
Greek god. It's like unreal, and it shows. Like, that's why he's still great. Big Ben, you didn't, and that's okay. You were great. It's time to get going. Packers win, and
it should have been 40-17. Packers moved to 3-1. They are the kings of the NFC North so far, 4 seed. The Steelers 1-3 at the 10 seed here through 4 weeks.
Oh, how the tables have turned in the AFC North.
Yeah, and 3 years ago, if you told me these were going to be the standings here, I would have said you're crazy. But
oh wow.
Last of the afternoon games here. Ravens, Broncos. The Broncos got exposed.
Well, yes and no. Drew Lock played a majority of the game.
He did.
And
he played
Broncos,
the second half.
The Broncos are 1-3 if Drew Lock starts every game. The reason
Agreed.
is because they protected or maybe not because they've had a weak schedule. But like the reason the Broncos have been so good is because they protect the ball. They don't make mistakes. And Drew Lock is not that. Drew Lock is I won't lie, he's talented, big arm, to quote Colin
But
Cowherd,
he's
like a big arm, strong, athletic kid. But he's like Jay Cutler, but worse. Jay Cutler had a big arm, relied on his
like
arm.
Sam Darnold from New York.
Yeah, it's just like I wouldn't say no because Sam Darnold wasn't casual. He made such dumb decisions. Drew Lock is casual in the way he plays. Like he doesn't care. And it's like, you aren't good enough to not care.
No.
And that's why not the only reason they lost. I think the Ravens are a better team. And we all thought that going into this game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this game didn't immediately make me go, okay, yeah, the Broncos are what I thought. They're bottom in the NFL. Broncos are a mid-tier team in the AFC, which I had them lower than that to start the year. They're better than I thought still. But Ravens just are amazing, honestly. Yeah. Once they got their running back situation figured out, Lamar is so good, and I don't even care who you are.
So the biggest story of this game,
Marquise Brown caught a pass.
Well, yeah, sure. He didn't drop 4 passes this game. The biggest story of this game came at the end when, with 3 seconds left, up by 16, the Ravens were 3 yards short of tying the NFL record that the Steelers held. I
thought it was of breaking the NFL record.
I think it's tying 43.
Okay.
And for 43 straight games with 100 or more rushing yards, they had 97, I believe. And with 3 seconds left, they got the ball back and ran a running play. Vic Fangio,
most teams would need, if you guys are like, if you don't understand why that's such a big deal, like most teams would need at the end of the game because the game's over. You don't need any more yards. Like you're just trying to. It's just out of respect.
End it out of respect, out of just not getting any players hurt.
It's like an unwritten rule.
Yeah,
essentially.
Exactly. And Vic Fangio, Broncos head coach, did not like this at all. Took personal shots at John Harbaugh, saying that player safety comes second to the Ravens organization. They both worked together previously in their NFL careers. And then John Harbaugh clapped back at him and said, we don't care what he says, basically. They need to worry about them. We'll worry about us. Like, Teague, I want to ask you, what's your side? Whose side are you on?
I'm excited for this. It's a little debate topic.
Are you on the Ravens side or are you on the Broncos side of this?
I'll go ahead and straight up. I'm on the Ravens side. I think it's fun. And here's the thing. I already don't like the kneeling thing. I understand for player safety. It just is so anticlimactic. And I understand it's for player safety. I'm not like doubting the reasoning behind it. I'm not saying it's not smart, but I'm saying as a fan of football, it makes it more boring. I think it's cool when you see coaches and players care about stuff. And like, here's the thing. I don't think the Ravens are doing this against, I forget, again, I like watch too many shows, but I don't know who said this. I don't think the Ravens are doing this against a team like the Chiefs, like the Chargers, or like another team that they're going to see again. They're playing this Broncos team. They're like, oh, we're going to see them in 4 more years because they don't think they're making the play. They don't think they're good enough to see them again for it to matter. Because do you know how embarrassing it would be to do this against the Chiefs and then for the Chiefs to play you later this season?
Yep.
And then the Chiefs run you over and everyone's like, dang, was it really worth it? Like to make them like, it's whatever. The Ravens are saying, you guys are so bad. We're just going to get this record and we don't care how sad it makes you. And I honestly, part of my French, I don't even know if this is my French, I respect the balls of the Ravens to do that. And I don't know.
English.
I think it's fun.
Balls is an English word.
Caleb, I respectfully, out of respect for you, I ignored that comment and you brought it up again. So well done.
In the English language, balls has a couple meanings.
Everyone click off the YouTube video right now. It's okay. I understand.
A lot of you people are thinking my side of this, right? You're like, Caleb, you're going to be an und. You're more of a traditionalist when it comes to these things.
That's what I was figuring. I'm not going to lie to you.
You're more to the Broncos side. Yeah, it's disrespectful. Like, I mean, don't do that. It's dumb. Screw that. You're going for a record against that your longtime rival holds. You're absolutely going to break that. Absolutely go for that. Screw it. It's 3 yards, 3 seconds. It doesn't matter. The Broncos and Vic Fangio especially, get over yourself. Just like Urban Meyer, don't become a distraction for your team. Worry about the 53 guys in your locker room. Handle them and stop worrying about other people. The only reason he's worried about them is because they lost by 16 and got embarrassed like that. He would not have reacted that way if they would have won.
Perfect. It's a perfect thing. Yourself. It's because he's sad. And here's the thing. This is just like, sorry, Titans fans, and sorry to bring up Cameron. This is just like when Cam spiked the ball, hit the folks, dabbing after he scored a rushing touchdown. And every person on their defensive line got up in his face and were mad at him. And he did it in their face, which was hilarious. And that's why I love Cam, is because he didn't care. He was just having fun. And they got mad. And after the game, we're like, just disrespectful to do that, like all the blah, blah. And then when they were talking about the top 100 greatest players of the season, and Cam was one, someone brought up that story and was like, bro, if you don't want him to do it, don't let him score. And there's the same thing. You don't want, here's the thing. They get to do whatever they want. They beat the socks off you guys. Mm-hmm. You have no right to tell them what's okay, what's not okay. You lost fair and square. They wanted a record. They did it. Your defense could have stopped them from getting the record.
Exactly.
You
knew they were running it. Send all 11.
That would have been funny. That would have been even funnier if the Broncos stopped them from getting the record, and then you could talk. You can be like, yeah, you beat us, but you didn't get the record, and that sucks. And we stopped you. You couldn't even stop them. So stop being a crybaby. Stop being a little biatch. Accept your defeat. You're still 3-1. You still got a chance. But turn the season around right now. I'm like, let's go show we're a real football team, because a lot of doubt. We have a lot of doubters, and it made me just not like the Broncos even more because they got mad about it.
I mean, it's just dumb. Do something about it in the 59 minutes and 57 seconds prior.
Yeah,
that's all that needs to be.
Why they were already so close? I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
If they were at 80 yards rushing and you guys were stopping them, they're not going to do it. But it's your fault. No. I don't know. Yeah.
I agree. The Ravens.
Glad we align on that.
What'd you say?
I just said I'm glad we align on that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I definitely didn't think that you were going to.
The Ravens moved to 3-1 to their 6th seed in the AFC. The Broncos are the 7th seed in the AFC. That honestly should change. I don't think they're a top 7 team in the AFC right now. Well, it sounded like you said something and then stopped so quickly. Sorry.
I just said it's going to. I was agreeing with you.
All I heard was
it's kind of
so.
It's kind of a throwaway line, but
Buccaneers at Patriots in the game of the century. Get over yourself. This was Brady going back to New England. This is not the game of the century. The media overhyped this game so much, and it was so annoying.
Dude, I hate to quote so many shows, but I'm sure our viewers don't watch them. So I'll kind of re-quote some great takes. I mean, when you hear great stuff, you want to repeat it. You want everyone else to hear it. This is why Brady left the Patriots. Because Brady didn't play well. Brady played average at best.
Yeah.
And they still won the game.
Correct.
Mac outplayed Brady. I'm a Mac not fan. You know this. Correct. We all know this.
Yep.
Mac outplayed Brady. Mac didn't win. And the reason is because the Patriots still can't figure out their receiving core. They can't figure it out. I don't know what it is about Belichick. You can't draft him. They can't trade for him. I don't know why they
don't draft well.
No, I don't know why they traded for Kendrick Bourne when there was guys like Kenny Golladay on the market. Or Julio Jones on the market. I don't know why they don't go after studs, because Mac Jones, as well as he played, still shows he's limited. He's not going to be a guy that's going to win. He's not going to be a guy that wins you games on his own. He needs a supporting cast around him, and that's clear. And I don't care who you are. And also the 19 straight completions, overrated in my opinion. 19 straight completions of screen passes. Oh, nice. It's if he was throwing the ball down the field, he threw 40 times. So did Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had 124 or 125 more yards than him.
Yeah.
It's all credit due to Mac Jones. Is probably his best game in the NFL. Maybe his week 1 game was. But the issue, you guys, he's still not putting up more than 17 points. And their defense has been playing so well this year.
Yeah.
And the offense is not able to capitalize. So many people are like, yeah, but when they played the Dolphins, he put them in position and then Damian Harris fumbled. Why did they only have 16 points against the Dolphins up to that point? Like it's not like I understand that premise, but like you still did, why was it even that close in the first place? You know?
Yeah.
So if you're in
with this game, Brady moves. I believe he's the third quarterback ever to beat all 32 teams in the NFL.
I think it's fourth because it's Favre.
If it's Favre, Manning.
Peyton, there genuinely is a third one. I just cannot. I saw because I saw the post and it was like 4 squares set up, and he was like joining them. I forgot. I forget.
Sure. Patriots moved to 1-3 to the 14 seed in the AFC, and the Buccaneers are 3-1.
Oh, Drew Brees. It was Drew Brees.
Yep. Because he beat the Saints when he was on the Shocks. 3-1.
I'll go ahead and say right now, the Bucs defense needs to figure something out because they have not looked good this year. Yeah. And that's another point I'd like to bring up about this overhyping of Mac Jones. Let's go look at every quarterback who's played the Bucs this year and compare Mac Jones' stats to them.
Dak Prescott balled out.
I promise you, Matt Stafford, unreal.
Balled out week 3.
Who else did they play?
Buccaneers played
Falcons. Matt Ryan balled out for the first 3 quarters.
He had like 30 points.
Yeah, it's like that passing defense is arguably the worst in the league up to this point this season.
Yeah.
And so like Mac not even breaking 300. I hate to keep hating on Mac, and it comes from a place of a defensive part of Cam Newton. And I understand that, but like I stand by what I say. It's not like I'm just saying it, and I stand by it. People are overhyping Mac Jones, especially in this game. I understand the conditions were bad, and it's a lot of pressure for a rookie. At bottom line,
a lot of rookies are under pressure every game.
Here's what's the fact about Mac Jones. He's put up more than 20 points one time this season.
Yeah,
4 games. You can't score more than 20 one time. Like,
yeah.
Okay. All right, there's my little classic Mac Jones rant over.
Dig it. And as tradition has it, Teague, I'll let you say your piece on this game, and then
I'll go ahead. I told my work group chat I'd give him a shout out at some point in this episode, and this is where I'll place it. Because Monday night, I won't lie to you, didn't really watch a ton of this game. My friends from work invited me out to A&B.
Nice.
We were out at the bars.
Nice.
Shout out A&B. I'm allowed to legally drink, which is really awesome. It was super fun. Love everyone. And Caleb, if you go check our YouTube, you'll see a lot of comments from my coworkers because I forced them essentially to go like and comment and subscribe. That. We're almost at 50 subscribers, you guys.
Sweet.
So big shout out to them. Love you guys. Anyways, to the game. So from stats and highlights, the Chargers were just never in doubt of this one. I kept seeing updates. My dad was texting me just so sad. He's like, dang, the Raiders are not looking good.
He didn't text me back, so.
Why would he? Honestly. Why would he have? I understand I won't say the Raiders are a bad team. Their defense, I didn't think was that good and had been outplaying itself up to this point. And I think it kind of came back to earth. Chargers are a good team. Like Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Eckler has been unreal this season. And of course, the one time I played Jared Cook, he becomes great. The Chargers and Caleb just texted my dad
in the game.
So I think the Raiders are going to kind of come back to earth next couple weeks. I don't know their schedule, but I'm sure they're going to get a couple more losses. But Chargers deserved it. Chargers are a really good team. Raiders are a solid team. They're not a bad team. Derek Carr still looks really good.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great game. He's still a very good quarterback. And I'm excited to see what the rest of the season holds for that AFC West division.
I do too. It's a weird looking division right now. You have the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos all 3-1, Chiefs at 2-2. I still expect the Chiefs to win the division. I'm just going to be honest and unbiased here. I think the Chargers can definitely give them a run for their money this season. We already beat them once, and we look really decent.
Can't call you crazy this season. I can't
Correct.
call you crazy.
The biggest change, I will stand by this, is the coaching staff has been
To
this team.
Their roster didn't even really change.
Their offensive line did. 4 out of 5 starters.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's completely correct. The two biggest reasons the Chargers are doing well are coaching and offensive line.
Yeah, game is one of the trenches, and one person I want to highlight from this game, Austin Eckler. He actually did a lot in the rushing game. He had his career high in rushing yards.
Had he broken 100 before? I'm assuming he has.
I believe so, but if he has, it's not a lot. I mean, we know him we know him as a really dominant receiving back, but he doesn't usually get them. I mean, his career highs like somewhere right around 600 yards for a season.
Yeah.
And he got 117 and a touchdown on 15 carries.
He got 6 of it.
Yeah. 7.8 yards a carry for Eck here against a Raiders defense that has looked decent so far. They didn't look great. Their offense was held to 0 yards in the first quarter and 50 yards in the first half. Obviously, the Raiders have been down 14-0 in 3 games so far this season, have won 2 of those. So the Chargers being the Chargers, I almost knew it was going to happen, that they were going to come back a little bit. But the difference in the team is the resilience, the not giving up when the Raiders or whatever team they're playing,
or not taking your foot off the gas.
Exactly.
Which was a big issue for them.
Or being Gus Bradley and not blitzing and just playing deep cover 3. Guess who Gus Bradley coaches for? He's the DC for the Raiders.
That must be a nice change.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome beating him. And a stat that I love, because the Chargers the last 2 seasons, not including this one, they had the lowest blitz rate percentage in the league both 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Guess who has the least amount of blitzes percentage wise so far this season?
The Raiders.
The Raiders do.
Dude, but the Raiders, what's weird is they've been getting a good pass rush.
Well, I mean, when you have Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, you don't need a lot of blitzing.
Yeah.
But it was just a fun stat to see. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that bull crap anymore. Oh wow, it's just it's relieving as a Chargers fan to know. I expected us, and I said this through the first 5 games of the season, I expected us to go 2-3. We're 3-1 right now. So that's exciting. We'll see how Sunday goes. I'll be there. Anyway,
it'll be a really good game. You guys very well could go 4-1 or 3-2, and I wouldn't be shocked either way.
No, me either. Just hoping for a good game. I'll be there live, so I would like a win. But we'll see.
Cleveland, baby, come on.
No, I'm trying to think what my record is in Chargers games that I've been to. I've been to Chargers Jags. We won 28-6. I went to Chargers Chiefs. We lost 33-3, but it's okay because I said LT get his jersey retired. And then I went to Chargers.
Forgetting one game.
Lions. We lost 13-10, I believe. And then Chargers Panthers. So I went to that game. I'm 1-3.
It's not looking great.
Games that I've been to. But we'll see. I think Chiefs. So against AFC opponents, I'm 1-1. So that's good.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. That's your week 4. Really fun week. CJ said it was going to be an easy schedule this week. He was wrong.
Not super.
As far as predictions go, because we did say we were going to update you guys as this goes along. Me and Teague are actually tied right now. 42-22 are our records.
What did I do this week?
You went 11-5 this week. I went 12-4.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
I don't have. I'll pull up the games that we got wrong real quick. I just have the overall screen pulled up here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Teague, if you want to go ahead and give your players of the week while I do that.
All right. So let's start in the AFC. I'm gonna give it to someone who you would think would be on here every week, but hasn't been on here yet for me. So Patrick Mahomes. I mean, 5 touchdowns is you're pretty secure in your spot. A big win a much needed win, even though it was against a opponent they should have beat. It was like, all right, we've lost back-to-back weeks. We need to show that we're still a good team, and they did. 5 touchdowns from Mahomes. Could have given it to Tyreek, of course, but it felt right that Mahomes gets one because I think I've given Tyreek one. And then defensively for the AFC, I wanted to give it just to the Bills as a whole. but I decided to go with just their best defensive player from the past week, just me after shutting out 2 opponents in pick. Did I cut out there?
You said Tremaine Edmonds, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I have Tremaine Edmonds as my defensive player. I went
Okay.
pretty much the similar route as you did on the AFC. I have Tyreek as my AFC player of the week. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 190 yards, ridiculous. So in prediction, we had the exact same schedule, pretty much. The only thing that's different, so we both got the Titans game wrong. We both got the Saints game wrong. The Giants beat them. We both got the Lions game wrong. The Bears beat them, and then we both got the Rams game wrong. The Cardinals beat them. The only other game that would have left us both at 12-4, you went 11-5. You picked your Panthers to beat the Cowboys. That is the only reason why we differed there. I'll go first in NFC here. NFC Offensive Player of the Week, I had Cordero. I know they didn't win, but holy crap, he looks explosive. 3 receiving touchdowns. And then he's a running back technically, just ridiculous. And then for my defensive player of the week, I have Antoine Winfield Jr. I have his stats pulled up here. 7 combined tackles, 5 solos, a pick and a pass deflection and a forced fumble against the Patriots this past week. All around really good good week.
Why can I not see the Steelers game in my text to you? Did I not pick it? Like, I'm checking right now and I literally don't see the Steelers name.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You have 15 games, which makes sense because we didn't pick Thursday nights on Sunday. Steelers played
the Giants.
No, they didn't. The Steelers played the Packers.
Wait.
You're fine.
Wait. You said I got the Steelers game wrong. Did you not?
No. You got the Saints game wrong.
Am I tripping right now?
You might have heard Saints.
The Saints
Yeah.
Oh, I think I heard Saints, but it like lagged. So probably I don't know. That was so confusing. I don't know. Okay. NFC offensive. I went with a boy that I've defended many on this podcast, and he just threw for 400 yards. Daniel Jones. It's a big, much needed win for the Giants. And it wasn't a crazy 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. It wasn't like
too bad you picked the Steelers in that game.
It was. I'm a sellout for that. But Daniel Jones had a great win, and it was really cool to see him, blow up that Saints defense, who a lot of people respect, especially their secondary. And he, popped off against them defensively. This one hurt me a little bit, but it's due respect for this guy, Trayvon Diggs.
Sure.
2 picks, has 5 picks on the year, which is unreal. He's got at least 1 in every game, 2 against us, of course. Picks on back-to-back possessions. He looks like the best corner in the league right now.
And I was talking to Jake about this the other day. It was funny how they played my favorite team, then Jake's favorite team, then your favorite team, back-to-back.
They beat all of us.
And they beat all of us. All right, there's our players of the week. And
top 10.
Chris Carson did not practice today due to a neck injury, and Seattle said it is not expected to decide his status until before Thursday night's game versus the Rams. Just Adam Schefter just texted me. We'll go. Let me get my notes section up. This should be fun. This is an exciting top 12, I guess, with our
honorable mention.
This is not my room. This is my sister's room. I don't have a room in Cary. I sleep on the couch. Honorable mentions. I'll go first here.
Yeah.
I got my 2 here. Number 12 is Seattle. I'm not super in on them yet. Russ has 9 touchdowns, 0 picks so far through 4 games. It's not week 8 yet. Let's chill out. Their defense still leaves a lot to be desired. And they put up 28 this past week. And they've had a couple losses. They lost to the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans just lost to the Jets. I mean, the Seahawks are a weird team to me. I don't feel comfortable putting them in my top 10 yet. We'll obviously see how it shakes out. Number 11, I have the Panthers here at 11. They weren't on my list last week. So they're moving up technically. Yeah, they were not on my list last week, so they are technically moving up. But I mean, I feel more confident in the 10 teams ahead of them. But I can very confidently say that they are the 11th spot. So if another one of these teams falls out and the Panthers continue to be good, they'll move right back up. Good offense with a really good defense. Had one bad game. That them against the Cowboys didn't inspire a lot of confidence in me to put them in the top 10. But I have them as the 11th seed there.
You are much nicer than I am, because they were an honorable for me last week. They dropped off slightly. I think I'd have them at 13. But I was like looking around at all the games. I'm just quickly run through this. Seahawks I also have at 12.
Okay.
Or I guess they're my 11 because I put them first. And then I was looking, I was like, dude, no other team that won is like here. And I was like, oh, they played the Niners. Niners are going to be at 11 for me, or at 12, 7. They were dealing with injury trouble, and I think overall roster wise, they're a great team, and they're going to be fighting for, of course, a playoff spot, but borderline a Super Bowl spot if they can figure out the quarterback situation by the end of the year.
Yeah. The Niners I had as 7 last week. I don't have them on my list this week. Just a lot of confidence in Trey Lance. I don't know how long Jimmy G is going to be out. And they just lost to the Seahawks.
Does that mean you have one person in here that I don't have? Is that what that means? Or no, we just switched Panthers. Okay,
Panthers and Niners. So
we
probably have the same top 10.
Fair.
Number 10, who is your 10?
I just switched this right now, actually. I have the Chargers at number 10.
Okay.
So it was mostly, it's hard, honestly. My whole top 10, I could see anywhere from 10 to 4 being any spot on this list. I put them at 10 because they haven't been here before in a weird way, like with this quarterback, especially. Herbert has never been, the Chargers haven't been in a position where they're constantly favored, in games, especially with a new young buck at QB. So they play this year. Their defense, I will say their defense is not as great as some of the teams on this list, which also was a hindrance to them. Just because they beat the Chiefs. They've won some good games, not trying to discredit them at all. It's just when you see who I have at 9, it makes sense why I switched, because I had the Chargers at 9, but I just swapped them for 10. So who do you have at 10?
I have the Chiefs at 10. The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL. Power rankings are done on a week-to-week basis. I don't, again, 10 to even 3 for me. Even 1, honestly. A lot of these teams could go a lot of places. I just went with my gut here. The Chiefs are 10. They lost. They barely beat the Browns.
Who are a great team.
Yeah, correct. Lost to the Chargers, lost to the Ravens, and then beat the Eagles, which the Eagles are okay, but their defense sucks. So I was confident in the other 9 teams ahead of them to put them there, because that defense is one of the worst in the NFL, easily the worst on this list.
I'd agree. My only issue is I couldn't confidently myself look at this list or confidently say the Chiefs are the 10th best team in football. Like even just saying that right then sounded like slander.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's not true. And I don't think you believe that they're actually the 10th best team in football.
I don't. And that's why I said that the weekly power rankings are done on a week-to-week basis. And I'm sure this will change. I'm sure they'll be higher. The internal struggle I was having with myself was, okay, are they really 10? Like, Patrick Mahomes is on the Chiefs. Like, are they really out of any game? He can easily come back. Then I was thinking, twice this year, they've been in a position to come back and do it. Against the Ravens, didn't. Against the Chargers, he threw a pick on that last drive. I mean, it's as fantastic as that offense is, that defense is selling them so hard. And Patrick Mahomes can only do so much. I have them at 10 for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think it's funny how our expectations for Mahomes are just out of this world.
Because he's been out of this world for his career.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Okay, number 9, I have the Cowboys, which is the reason I put, just because, and I don't want to use an excuse because obviously there are going to be teams ahead who have beaten other teams, and it's like all this stuff. I just mean, in my head, it was like, do I think if they played again, the outcome could be different? I do think it could be different. But there was something about the Cowboys win that was a little bit more convincing, that it seemed like it could happen again because Dak didn't have to be special.
Yeah.
It was all about the run game. And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest Chargers weakness. And I think you'll agree is their run defense.
Definitely.
And I think the Cowboys kind of have that tool against them. And it's like, if they played again, which obviously they won't unless they meet the Super Bowl, I would pick the Cowboys, I think, to win again, like I did. That was my reasoning just for that. It's just for 9 and 10. Don't use that logic for any other team with any other team. It was just, they were next to each other and I decided to switch them.
Yeah. I mean, if that logic was here for me at 9 and 10, it wouldn't make sense. I have the Browns at 9, right ahead of the Chiefs, who the Chiefs just are beaten week 1.
Yeah.
Browns defense is spectacular. Their rushing attack looks good. Looks again spectacular. They beat the Vikings by 7. It was a low scoring game. Don't have a lot of faith in that offense passing wise.
Without Jarvis, it's
very
not good.
It's suffering. So I think if they get down against the Chargers by 2 possessions, they're going to have a tough time getting back.
Yeah.
If they have to rely on the pass, they might not, because the rushing attack is so good and the Chargers rush defense is not.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers rush defense looked good against Josh Jacobs Monday. But again, he was hurt. The Raiders rushing attack is not what they're known for. So take that. I am taking that with a grain of salt. But we will all see on Sunday. That's why we'll have a new power ranking next Wednesday.
At 8, I have the Browns. So it's kind of for the same reasons. Their defense looks great. Rushing attack is incredible. That's them, and the Ravens are 1 and 2 in the league.
Yeah.
But again, without Jarvis, Baker tries to force it to Odell, and they just don't have that connection.
Correct.
Still think they need to trade him.
Yeah, I agree. 8, I have us. I have the Chargers here at 8.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we're a top 5 team yet. I think we have the potential, but again, I think every single one of these teams has a potential to be a top 5 team.
Yeah, easily.
It's just I loved how our defense played. I absolutely loved how our defense played on Monday night. To shut out a team of yards in a whole quarter is phenomenal. They had 3 drives and that were held to 0 yards. Our defense looked good. Joey Bosa is ridiculous. Derwin James finally got back on track with his first takeaway since 2019. Obviously with all those injuries. And it was a fun game to watch as a Chargers fan. And Herbert is Herbert. I mean, 2 primetime games 2 Monday night games in his career, 7 picks, 7 touchdowns. Yeah, he's awful. 7 touchdowns, no picks. Just ridiculous. That kid, the lights are never too bright in his young career, as it seems so far. Chargers with all these
does
teams,
not have the Kirk Cousins effect.
No, thank God. I think the Chargers are probably one of the most fun teams to watch in the entire league, just because of Herbert. Number 7, who do you have?
I have the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I'm kind of washing away their week 1 game. I don't know why.
Too.
It's like it was the weirdest game I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Saints don't look good, and they look really good. So it's like, what? I don't know what happened.
Week 1's gonna week 1. The Jags beat the Colts last year in week 1.
But the Packers are just a really good team. Their defense looks pretty solid, and their offense.
That's a perfect word to describe them.
Their offense, like Randall Cobb showed up last week, and they didn't need to rely on Devontae, which I think is super important for that team. Because if you're relying on Devontae too much, you're not going to get very far. I think getting other guys involved is really important, and I think they did a good job of that.
I agree. I have the Cowboys at 7. Kind of use your logic for 9 and 10. That's the logic I'm using a little bit here for 7 and 8. The Cowboys over the Chargers. I do think that the same thing, that it could easily be a different result than if those 2 teams played last time or again. But the Cowboys to me had a more convincing, have had more convincing wins. And I know that the Chargers, they've beaten the Chiefs, they've beaten the 3-0 Raiders. They beat Washington going into the season, who we all thought was going to be a good defense, but turns out really they're not.
They're really not a good defense.
No. But all those wins are by one possession. Or no, we beat the Raiders 28-14. But the Cowboys, I mean, you have their 2-point loss to the Buccaneers. You have their win against the Chargers. You have their 3-possession win against the Eagles. You have your 1-possession or your 8-point win against the Panthers. I think the Cowboys have looked more dominant in their wins than the Chargers have.
Yeah.
Unbiased. And it hurts for me to say. But it's what I feel like. And I think that offense is just ridiculous. And we'll see how the releasing of Jalen Smith affects their defense. But Michael Parsons looks really good on the end.
He looks unreal.
He looks way better from the edge than he did from the linebacker position, which is weird.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Number 7.
Six. I got the Chiefs here.
Okay.
Still, I disrespected them, like kind of, putting them in timeout, getting them in trouble, taking them out of the top 5, punishing them a little bit.
Good.
But in my heart, I still think they're a top 5 team. I still think they're the best team in football, but their defense needs to start playing well, or they're simply not the best team in football. And that's the big issue right now. Offense, very easily, is probably the best in football still.
Yeah.
Their defense is not helping them out, and I need to see that before I can put them back in the top 5.
Agreed. Ravens at 6, I have. They could definitely be top 5 for me. Top 5 for me. It's so close between these teams. It's hard to discern. But I don't have a great reason for why the Ravens here. At 6, that's just where I have them.
Sure. All right, moving into the top 5, I have the Rams at number 5. They just disappointed me. You lose by 17 at home to a division rival. That's a huge game. They did not show up, and the Cardinals did at the end of the day. Are the Rams better than 5? Maybe. But after this past week, you have a couple doubts run through your mind, and I need to see them get back on track.
I like it. I have the Packers here at 5. I also am just washing away that week 1 win, or week 1 loss. Besides that, they look fantastic. And I think are a top 5 team in football for sure, as they usually are with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Number 4, I got the Tampa Bay Bucks.
I agree.
They haven't looked great, honestly, but they keep winning, and they're going. I figure they're going to eventually look dominant again.
That's what great teams do, though. Even when they don't look good, they find a way to win.
Exactly, and that's what they do. So we both agreed clearly. Number 3, I have the Ravens. I've been shocked by how good they've looked and how good Lamar has looked as a thrower of the football. I heard Colin Cowherd say this. It's not always pretty when he throws it. It's got the Phillip Rivers effect. Doesn't look pretty, but gets there a lot of the time. And add that to his insane innate rushing ability that you can't teach, that leaves him with more open receivers because people have to cheat on him.
Yep.
It's unreal. And I have them at 3, especially because they have a great defense too.
A little bit of news here in that Stephon Gilmore trade. So as some of you know, and some of you might not know, he was on the PUP list, which is what is physically unable to perform. And he's on that list. Panthers expect him to get off after week 6. Should be available week 7 for the Giants versus the Panthers. So a couple more weeks to see him. But fantastic trade. Anyway, I have the Rams at 3. I didn't want to drop them too bad because I genuinely think they're the best team in football right now. I do. Okay. I honestly think the Rams are the best team in football. Their defense is insane. They're even though they didn't show it, everyone has an off game. Their offense should be insane. They didn't show it. They just didn't play good. Play well. Excuse me.
Play well.
Week 4. I don't expect.
My mom would smack you. Number 2.
Yeah, for real.
What?
I think that it's better to have these losses early in the season than later, and the Buccaneers proved that last year. I think the Rams are going to prove that this year. Cool. They are still my Super Bowl favorite. But yeah,
they're still my NFC favorite, I'll say. Number 2 are the Cardinals. They're undefeated. Can't really say anything differently. Their defenses looked really good, and their offenses looked dominant.
Yep. I mean, I have the Cardinals at 2. I mean, I
won
know
the
I wanted to put them number one just because they're the only undefeated team in football. But there's no other team has looked as dominant as my number one.
No, the Bills. Yeah, I mean the Bills have just shut out teams. Their
Twice.
offense has and it's just
some of their games this year have been
that's what I was gonna say. I think the Rams, I agree with you for the most part, are the best team in the NFL right now. But I wouldn't agree completely because I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL right now, with the Rams as a close second.
There you go. Or the Cardinals is a close second.
I think that the in my heart of
hearts. Okay.
But in my list, Cardinals are second.
Gotcha. I mean, I honestly think it's Rams, Bills to me as the best teams in football.
Sure.
But right now, Bills after their win, just dominant. And I want to see who they play next. Oh yeah, Chiefs Bills Sunday night. Should be a really good game. Really good idea of it'll be
open our eyes.
Yeah. We'll kind of have an idea. It'll be just before the third the 1/3 point in the season. So we'll see. There you go. A bit of a longer episode of What the Football here because we had to do a little bit. But I just wanted to say, as sort of a PSA here to all of our listeners, we're trying to get episodes out. We really are. It's hard because I just started my new job and I'm getting really a lot of hours. So it's harder for us to try to find a time 3 times a week or meet. Both Teague and I are not working and we have 2 hours to kill while we're not doing anything. So we're going to try. We will have at the very, very least 1 episode a week. We'll try to get 2. I don't know what's going to happen for Saturday's episode. If we have to record it early, we might have to do that. We'll see. But we'll all see. I want to go ahead and end this episode soon, just so it's not a super long run time, longer than it needs to be. Thank you guys so much for listening and continuing.
I love you guys.
Support us. There's the classic, and it didn't lag at all. That's perfect. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Shout out Zoe Raymond. With that, this has been What the Football.
What the Football.
What the Football.
And there it is.
This is a little extra part